Yep, close. All right, so let's check and see. Let's check and see. Cool, that sounds beautiful. All right, so let's get this going. And what I could also do, see this as well. Matter of fact, I do it furthermore over here. Got it. Uh-uh. Let's go. Cool. All right. Cool. Stop. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yeah, it's a bit laggy, but yeah, it's a bit laggy. Yeah, it's a bit laggy. You can hear it perfectly well. Okay, cool. All right. I want to give all of the praises Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah, belong to the elder apostles of the great no stone that have taught us this truth, and to include the elder bishops on down, and Yahweh Bashmi Shai, Barakatham, to all of the sincere brothers, and to include, yeah, I just said that already, right? Jeez Louise. Yeah, so anyway, what I want to do is I want to get into a few things that's just been currently been spoken about, dealing with the Immaculate Conception, which, you know, the argument came due to the fact that vocab, you know, brought himself. I'm over here yet again. I believe it's the third or the fourth time coming, you know, and this is a very easy subject matter to cover, of course, because we've covered it so many times. You know, it's not really a big deal, but just for the sake of the doctrine and for the sake of edification, I'm gonna cover it, Lord willing, and Lord willing, this will be an edifying live lesson as well, and you know, many other things too. See where the Spirit takes us, because tell you the truth, I wasn't really all the way prepared for today, so we're just gonna have to go off the Spirit. So yeah, first one was I want to deal with some stuff in regards to the topic, right, concerning the Immaculate Conception. Matter of fact, you know what I'll do? Let me just put this like over here. Yeah, there you go. And what we'll do is we'll go into this over here. Now, the Immaculate Conception, and this is what I usually mention when I speak on this topic, right? Who brought it up? On the 7th, 8th, 1854, Pope Pius the Ninth formally declared the Immaculate Conception as a dogmatic teaching of the Catholic Church via the papal bull, what is it, Ineffabilis, something along those lines. So he was the one that brought this idea to the forefront of what is coined as the Immaculate Conception that everybody believes in, including, you know, if I'm correct, Muslims believe in that nonsense as well, right? It's been a thing that's been spread abroad, and you know, it doesn't come as a surprise, because when you check it, all of these religions, these two prominent religions, came out of the Roman Catholic institution. So when this was declared, this was also a part of both doctrines, but primarily Christianity, right? And it's just that. It's just that of a dogma. It's not necessarily something that's biblical, because when we take it from a biblical standpoint, which what I want to do first and foremost, I want to read John 1, First John 4. And the point is in, yeah, just bear me for 1 minute. Right. Yeah, so right. Okay, yes. So what is it? First John 4 and verse 1. We'll begin by reading there. Okay, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of the Most High, because of many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby ye know ye the spirit of the Most High, every spirit that confesseth. Yeah, this is it right here. It was looking directly at me, man. Hereby know ye the spirit of the Most High, every spirit that confesseth that Yahushua the Anointed is come in the flesh is of the Most High. 3. And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua the Anointed is come in the flesh is not of the Most High. And this is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world. And so I just want to just read that first. So when you check it, the whole notion of the Immaculate Conception and if belief is basically an Antichrist doctrine, because the scriptures clearly states that he came in the flesh. Case in point, when you read the book of Matthew, the first chapter, it actually elaborates on his genealogy. And the whole thing of the genealogy was very essential back in ancient Israel, because it pretty much defined who you was in relation to if you belong to the land of promise and whatever tribe you came out of. It was very important. So it wasn't no willy-nilly night thing. All right. So the Lord had his genealogy. And again, that was just the customary thing at the time. It was very important. All right. Like whenever you went to the temple and you wanted to know your genealogy, it was basically right there. You can just go and check it from there. The priest would show you where you're coming from. You know, however they did it at the time. But the thing of it is, it was very important. So if he didn't have his again, there would be no genealogy, because he would have been just born out, out of nowhere, right? Now, can the Most High do something like that? Yeah, the Most High could do whatever he wants to do. The Lord could have it to where a man could basically just appear on the scene without being born. Yeah, that's easy for the Most High to do that. But the thing of it is, the way the Lord came on earth, he came on earth just like everybody else. He came on earth in the fleshly way by the conception of sex. All right. So we're going to get into all of that stuff, man. So yeah, let me read this again. It says, and every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua is come in the flesh is not of the Most High. And this is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come. And even now already in the world, and it's right now in this generation. It was back then to a degree, but further amount to more now, due to that doctrine being spread abroad throughout the centuries. It came out since 1854, which was defined by the knife of Pope of Pius, the knife of Pius. Pope Pius the knife. Let me say it correctly. All right. Now, let's also read this over here as well. And this also proves that he came in the flesh. Again, the genealogies, as this is written. Matthew 1 and verse 1. The book of the generations of Yahushua the Anointed, the son of David, the son of Abraham, etc., etc. So these are his records. These are his genealogical records. Right over here. All right. And it reads, just to jump all the way down, right? And it reads, and what is it? And as concerning Mary, But while he thought on these things, right, in regards to Joseph, matter of fact, let's read this over here. Beautiful. Yeah. So now the birth of Yahushua was on this wise when his mother, matter of fact, let me back it up even a little bit more. Let's read verse 17. Here you go. Right. So all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. And from David unto the carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations. And from the carrying away into Babylon unto the anointed are 14 generations. Now the birth of Yahushua the anointed was on this wise. Right. When as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph. So what did it mean that she was espoused to Joseph? Hence you get the term currently right now. Right? Engaged. Okay. Someone that's engaged or a woman that's engaged. So Mary was already engaged to Joseph. And when you're in, of course, you know, when you're engaged with your woman, right? Of course, you know, you meet a woman and then she becomes your, you know, your girlfriend, as they say in the world, right? And then the next thing you know, she becomes, she becomes someone that you get engaged with, right? She becomes your fiance. And then later on, she becomes what? Married to you. All right. So that's what it meant that she was espoused to Joseph. And I just wanted to see something real quick. Right. Right. Okay, cool. So we got that. Now let's get out of here. Yeah. So now, let's continue on. Right. So now as this reads, now all this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, behold, a virgin shall be with child and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which means what? Which being interpreted, God is with us, or the Most High is with us. So when we look up this word over here in the, when we go to the Old Testament, because we got to go to the Old Testament to get some understanding of something, right? And I believe it's somewhere in Isaiah. Tell you what we're going to do. Let me do this instead. Let me go to the app. Make it easy on myself. Let's go over here. All right, so now let's do this. Right, Isaiah 7 and verse 14. What's going on with this? Come on, get it together. Phone. All right, so now let's get into this over here. Yeah, so you have the word, the Hebrew word, they have here, right? They have here, alma, but that's not the word. The word is ayalama, which the word, ayalama means young, marriageable woman. It didn't mean that she was actually a virgin, a woman that's never been humbled by, her husband. What it meant is that she was of a woman of marriageable age, and they still practice this today in the East. All right, certain countries they still practice this. So when you reach the age of maturity, which every country is different. In this country is 16, another country may be 14, another country may be 13. But in this time, 2,000 years ago, a woman was of marriageable age at the age of 12 or 13 years old, or 14 in the ancient world. That's what was at the time. So Mary, in this case, must have been in her early to mid-teens. All right. So when we go over here and we go back to Matthew's 1, when we go back here to Matthew's, Matthew's 1 1 and 22. Right. So as this reads, as a matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read, 23 again. Exactly. 22 again. Now all this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet. And what prophet was this? Isaiah. Isaiah 7 and 14. And behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which being interpreted, the Most High is with us. So now we understand what kind of virgin she was. She was a virgin in the sense of being at the age of the flower of the age to marry Joseph. All right. Then Joseph, being raised from sleep, did as the angel of the Lord had bidden him, and took unto him his wife, and knew her not until she had brought forth her first son. Right. And called his name Yahweh Shai. So his birth was a fulfillment of prophecy, that a young woman of marriageable age would what? Be espoused to Joseph. And again, what I wanted to say earlier in regards to being a woman being engaged to her future husband, and have cases, or a lot of the times I would say, especially in today's society, you would have sexual relations with people before marriage. And that's what was done at the time between Mary and Joseph. All right. So when you go into that history, usually during the time of 2,000 years ago, it wasn't really reasonable to, show your woman around while she was pregnant and all of that before she was married, because it didn't look good. So he kept her away hidden and all that. Right. But basically, pretty much that was his wife, Joseph. Excuse me, Mary. Mary was his wife. All right. So I just wanted to just talk about that part of it. Now, what I want to do is I want to get to the book of Luke, because I mentioned that it was essential that you had to know your records. All right, you had to have your genealogies on pretty much stated, because if not, then basically you was considered a heathen. You had no ties to the land of promise. That's the ultimate reason why it was very important that you had your genealogies. All right, or the ancient Israelites, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, when Abraham was on the scene and Abraham was found sojourning, and what happened? And what did the Lord tell him? The Lord told him, look, down where you stand. And what did the Lord tell him? This is that your seed is going to be blessed. And there, if I'm correct, the Lord established the covenant with him. All right. So if your lineage then go back to Abraham, of the chosen lineage, then he was considered, again, a heathen man. You had no belonging to the land. All right. So when you also go into the history of Apostle Paul, what did the Apostle Paul do? The Apostle Paul, he was dealing with what? Israelites that were outside of the land of Jerusalem, and the Pharisees had a problem with the Apostle Paul bringing them into that area, into the areas of Jerusalem, because they didn't belong there. He even brought them into the temple, so they got pissed off about that, man. All right, so it didn't matter if you looked like a Hebrew, if you didn't have, your name wasn't registered, then you wasn't a part of that commonwealth. You had nothing to do with that whatsoever. Right? So it was very clear and evident that the Lord sprung out of the tribe of Judah. How is that even evident? Because his records show that he went right all the way back from his father's side of David. And then also even on his mother's side too, he descended. Well, he didn't descend from his mother. He descended from his father. But even on his mother's side, she also went back to David. So when Joseph and Mary got together, you can't call that incest, because they were, like, you could say, like, far way out there relatives. Okay. So So they were both related, but they were further away, way out there related, if I could put it in that kind of sense. So it was a customary thing that our people did in those times. Now, when you go into what is it, Luke, even to include, right, with dealing with the customary of how we did things. When you go into the book of Luke 3:23, and the word suppose is there, and you have the word, what is it, nomito. Let's play this. Right, and this is something that, of course, elder brothers and the elder apostles have went into. I believe elder apostle Rob Lop spoke on this as well. And so, as this reads, it says to hold by custom or usage, own as a custom or usage, to follow a custom or usage. It is the custom, it is received usage. Now let's go to the Strong's definition, because I like how the Strong's put it. So the word is what? Properly to do by law, i.e. to a custom. By extension, deem or regard. So again, what was the high regard thing to do? What was regarded of you to do to solidify you as who you were in that time? Your family lineage would pretty much be declared in the temple. Okay? Even as you read in the book of Numbers 1, it talks about how the men which were going to go to war, and that they were named after what? The pedigrees of their fathers. So you would declare yourself as what? Son of such and such, son of such and such. That's how it was. Okay? So there was no such thing as an immaculate conception. That was nothing more than a lie that was formulated almost, we could say, almost 200 years ago from now, about 172 years ago from now, right? And that's why so many people believe it, because it's been going out for so many years. So when you have what is it, 2 centuries, of course, because if something is said long enough, it's going to be equivalent to the truth, concrete. But if you're a man of prudence and you research things, you find out, wait a minute, that don't make sense. That don't add up. And then you equate it to what the Bible is saying, and again, it doesn't add up, does it? So now that we've done with that topic of discussion, I want to change the topic, and I want to deal with also something currently that was being spoken about, that's been revealed about how the UN have passed something, and it's in regard to what? Globally digitalizing the world. And I want to read a few things on this as well. And as this reads, the UN Pact for the Future addresses digital cooperation through its next global digital compact. This landmark framework focuses on bridging global digital divides, governing AI, protecting human rights online, and fostering an inclusive, secure digital economy for all nations. So if you have your digital ID and in the digital world, that now you're included. Now you pretty much exist. All right. And the way that they're going to do it, as well as, we'll always keep telling you, it's going to be in the way of the chip. So if you have your RFID microchip, so to speak, right, as your digital ID with all of your important data about you, then again, you will be considered human. You will be considered somebody. But if you don't have that, while the digital system is in full fledged, then you're going to be a known name. All right. And that's what ties into Revelations 13 and 16. He calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. That's the causation right there. So you're going to have to get down with the new program that Esau wants to set up. You're not going to have a choice. But see, us back here, those that believe in Yahweh Bashim Shai, we don't already set our choice up. We don't already made up our mind. In our mind already. All right. And our choice is that we ain't going to take that thing. Let me get in the middle. Let me position it so that both folks can get this. Yeah, so as this reads, yeah, so the core pillars of digital cooperation, a global digital compact establishes an actionable 25-year roadmap for global collaboration, which focuses on, and listen, it's not no 25 years. They're building the data centers, and so the other half of the infrastructure is pretty much being built already. People are now using smartwatches, phones to pay for things, to go on transportation. It's already been had to where people are now conditioned to not even having to use their wallet, taking out their cards, their debit cards, credit cards to get things. You have online banking. So that's already been done already. Now the other half of it is what? The data centers and all of that. And also AI, they got to build more. So once they get those two things sorted out, then now you have a whole another world system, which is going to be digitalized. And that's why they're going to have to bring about 6G, because 5G does quite a bit. 5G is pretty good in its way, but 6G is even better. Okay, and we're going to go into that. Yeah, so right. So let's go into this as well. You're saying you don't want me to go into this this topic, yo. Anyway, human rights online, upholding human rights protection and safety in the digital space. And there's something else I want to go into, right? There's something else I want to go into in regards to that. Okay, yeah, so that's all they got me. All right, that's all they got for me. All right, cool. Yeah, so what I want to do too, dealing with what is it? Inclusion, right? Digital inclusion. Let's also read this as well, because this article came out on the 13th of last month. As this reads, right? EU declares non-compliant citizens who reject the Bill Gates. Oh boy, I should have never said his name. Digital ID will be banned from the internet. The EU is turning the internet into a permission-based system where ordinary citizens must surrender their digital identity to participate in modern society. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen is fast-tracking plans that will require every social media user to provide government approval digital ID to log in. So that's where this thing is going to eventually go. Because again, every single thing that you do is online now. And just like I was saying before, even when you're buying your goods, and even when you do sell your goods, it's all based online. Like case in point, most people I found out they don't really like to buy cars, outwardly, but they rather do it with the computer instead. They rather do it online instead. Everything is done based online. Even where it concerns shopping. A lot of young people, they don't really want to go get their food from the store because they got to carry the bags or whatever. You easy to what? Order it from online. Even Amazon covers that. You listen, if you want to get some water, 2 big jugs of water, you can just order that bad boy online and they're coming to your house like within minutes. I've done it a few times. All right. And we've been on that for years. There's been plenty of us that's been doing that. We just been ordering things online. Now, back in the day, you would go on an individual's website if they were selling something and you would order it from there. But nowadays, all businesses is in conjunction with Amazon and these major conglomerate platforms. All right. And there's a reason why they set up Amazon and, they set up businesses like Amazon and these Silicon Valley companies, including Google, because Amazon is in tandem with Google. Silicon Valley, they're all conjoined together. So if these entities turn into a what is it? If these entities all can join in one, the New World Order system, these are going to be the only stores that you can do business with. And when I mean business, I'm talking about, of course, selling goods on, and as well as buying goods only from. So the whole idea of individualistic businesses that's done between different people, that's going to be out of the picture. That's why during the COV era, what did they do? Right around the COV era, what collapsed? The middle class. Why was the middle class done away with? And the middle class was about to be done away with prior before the COV. Okay, I remember one guy came up to the camp. This is when we was teaching in King's Cross. Bald-headed Edomite, right? Could have been a Jake, who knows, right? But he came up, he was talking about something about how they're trying to get rid of the middle class. This is prior before the COV era. So even back then, that was already in effect. But when the COV era came and kicked everybody's ass, mentally, psychologically, and business-wise, that's what did it. So now, what do you have? You have just two branches of men for the most part. Now, you got still some people doing businesses here and there, but the whole idea of starting your own business from a physical standpoint, that's not really in effect right now. And if you are going to do business, it's going to be online. Somehow, some way, it's going to be online. And everything that you do online listen, you're doing it on Google. You ain't doing business on DuckDuck. You ain't doing business on any other website. You're doing business on Google. So if Google is saying, look, in order for you to use us, you got to go get a digital ID system. Excuse me, blah. You got to go, which the system just means, as I can quite recall, the word system means pit. So if you tap into the digital system by receiving the chip, then guess what? Now you're included in society because, again, everything you do in the internet, can be pretty much solidified that you're who you say you are. All right. Yeah. So anyway, I want to read a little bit more on this. Von der Leyen announced this week that the EU is actively pursuing a block-wide social media ban for minors. I believe we must consider a social media delay, she said in Copenhagen. Depending on the result, we could come up with a legal proposal this summer. And what I'm going to have to do is look more into this as well, because we're still in the time of summer anyway. Yeah, so let me read some. I want to find some other key points in this too. Yeah, so anyway, France aims to block under 15s from September, with Spain, Germany, Ireland, and Denmark, Greece, Austria, and Netherlands also advancing similar rules. Britain is moving in the same direction, and I believe Britain is going to be the first nation to bring about the digital ID system in regards to you having to get the mark, because this is the financial district. This is the country that is the financial district of the world, especially in London. You know, like the Bible talks about the unclean frogs in the book of Revelation 16 and 13. And what you do have, which all of these three city-states, which is what you do have some sort of importance of this society. You have the Roman Catholic institution, which is in Vatican, Rome, which is the religious, spiritual aspect of this world. And then you have the military aspect of this world, which is in America. Okay, and then you have the financial district of the world, which is down here in the UK, primarily London. So it would have to start here in London first. All right. That's just my own speculation. Now, Esau could do whatever he wants, but it would make further amount more sense that they start doing it here. Yeah, so let me read some more on this. Critics point out the obvious flaws. The child safety framing platforms cannot verify age without verifying identity for all users to protect minors, and authorities will effectively force adults to upload official documents or connect through government-linked digital ID systems before they can post comments or browse and messages. And that's the whole reason why they was bringing about all of that. This whole notion of yeah, the young people, um they have to be of age to get into the computer as well as they're going to set up. Because again, what you have right now as well, you got all kind of people speaking about all kind of things, right? And exposing truths. You go on X, you go on Instagram, all of these avenues that people use. Sometimes people will set up an account or a fake account, which that's hard to do nowadays because the way they got the internet set up. Let's say you want to have an account on Google. You can have, if I'm correct, even on YouTube, right? The way they got YouTube set up on your main account, your main Google account, you can have like different accounts within that one account. So even if you really wanted to set up a fake page, you can't. It's hard to do that. Now, over 10 years ago, you could do that. But nowadays, you can't do that. All right? Yeah, so that's the thing. So that's the reason why they've been speaking about this whole notion of, you got to protect the children and they have to be more secure. We got to make sure that, they're age worthy to be able to do X, Y, and Z, because that's going to lead to what? Adults having to do the same thing to confirm and to verify who they are, to go online. All right. And just like I said, in order for this world to really work out, this world needs to be under a 6G program so that Esau can in live time more effectively see everything as to what's happening within and also without. Now, let's read this. 6G is the up and coming sixth generation cellular network technology expected commercially around 2030 that will act as a paradigm shift. Now, check this out. Rather than just an incremental upgrade, it integrates AI and seamless connects, check this out, the physical and digital worlds. Hence, you get the term what? Transhumanism. Merging human beings with what? AI and robots. And then with that, they can formulate 15-minute cities. You have cameras all over the place. They already kind of starting that already. When you go on as I would call it, because I'm from the States, the highway, right? The highway in the UK, you got certain cameras and all of that. To monitor, how fast you're going and all that, and they're just making things more strict over here. They're making the roads more narrow. That's due to Sadiq Khan and all of that, which Sadiq Khan, he's not really the main guy to blame. He's just pretty much doing what he's told to do because that's the agenda. The agenda is to prevent this idea of freedom. So when you're able to further away from one area of the country to another end of the country, that's what that does. That does away with this idea of you being free. Freedom of movement. So they want to restrict movement, and every ounce of your life is going to be heavily restricted just so that you can be pretty much set up in a situation that they want you to be in. They want you to be in a cell, a prison, have you will. That's what this whole thing is about, right? And you're going to be further mount to more of a prisoner once they get you to get that seat here. It's over from there. There's no freedom. The little freedoms that they're giving you by privilege, scrap. All right. Now you have even brain chips. You have chips for the arm, and all of that stuff. What do these chips do? These chips can do all kind of things. They can read what's in your mind. They can be able to monitor your what's the word I'm looking for? They can be able to monitor how you feel about yourself, the thoughts you think, and all of this stuff about you is going to be on a database, and that's going to what? All of that is going to be tied to your gut. All right. Yeah. So anyway, the point is this. I want to read this again. Integrate AI intelligence. Excuse me. AI. I didn't have to say it. I didn't have to say that. And seamless connects the physical and digital world. So they wanna connect the digital physical world, merge it all together. You understand? So instead of you having the spiritual world tied in with the physical realm, they want to do away with that, and they want people to see things from a digital standpoint. Now, let's take it back 6 years ago. Now, the reason why they told many people to go take the you know what is so that they can do away with what? Your third eye. What is your third eye responsible? Your pineal gland, to see things from a spiritual point. Now, the word pineal, and I haven't said this in a while, means the face of the Most High. Pun meaning presence or face. And il just means Allah, which means power or God. So they want to do away with you from seeing the Most High and seeing things from a spiritual situation. So now you're going to be a physical individual seeing things from what? A digital standpoint. Because for one, they've already took that away from you 6 years ago. So once they got you with the C-hip, now guess what? You're going to be seeing things from a digital standpoint. And from a digital standpoint, they're going to be your new gods. All right? And that's what they want to do with this AI thing. They want to be gods with this stuff. And with this AI stuff, with this technological power that the Lord has given them, which he's going to take it away from them any doggone way. They even want to cover that even around the cosmos, the universe. And they can do all of that with what? 6G. And if they can go with another G, which is 7G, they'll go as far as doing that as well. All right. Now, I want to also read this as well, as I've quoted already. We've quoted it so many times. That's why this reads, he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, in that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So if you don't have the digital ID in the form of your chip, then you won't be able to do diddly squat. You won't be able to connect to the internet, because every single thing is going to go from what? The reality to the virtual reality. And that's what people are already on right now to a degree. People do businesses. People have businesses online. Okay? People buy things online. Every single thing is based online. Now, I'm still relatively a young man, right? I'm smack dab in my mid-30s. But I remember the time where if you wanted to go get some, you had to go and get it. There was no such thing as, oh, let me just order this online. Right? I remember when I'm old enough to remember when Google first came out. Okay? I remember when Google first came out. I think it was 1999 it was 1999 when Google came out. Right? There was no such thing as Google. There was no such thing as these phones. You know, I remember when the first mobile phone came out, man. You know what I'm saying? So you had to literally go out your way to go get your food. That was your only option. You had to go out your way to go to a library if you wanted to learn something. You know what I mean? So now everything is strictly done online. If you wanted to do a business, same thing. Okay? Now, the way they got it now is you can't really do business on a natural scale, because you're most likely gonna fail. So you gotta get in with with what's going on today. You gotta get on with the trend. You'll further amount to more have a successful business online rather than if it's a natural business. All right. So everything has to be done based on the virtual world. And they're doing this by purpose, because that's what your life is going to be based on, the virtual reality. Now you have whole generations that don't know what it's like to actually live in the real world. They don't know what it's like to actually live without even having these phones in their hands. You got generations that was born into this technological setup. So they don't know any other way. So this generation especially, they're already mapped for the new world. All right? They don't have the old world point of view or the 20th century point of view. They just have the 21st century point of view and onwards. Okay. So the young people, they're going to lead the way. And one thing about young people, like I always say, young people always set the trend and then everybody else follows. All right. Everybody's going to have to follow it. Yeah. So as this reads as well, it says, here is wisdom, and let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600, 66. And those three numbers go back to what? Chi, Psi, stigma. And the word stigma, as well as we know, when someone has a stigma upon them, is usually to do with something bad that they've done, that they've been known to do all around. Like case in point, if a woman grew up in this particular neighborhood, right, and she ended up becoming a 305 or a thought, and everybody knows about it, she can't get with nobody in that neighborhood. And if they do get with her, they're just going to get with her just for the use of sex, because she's stigmatized in being a 304 harlot. All right. So the word stigma here, a strong sense of social disapproval, shame, or negative attached to a particular circumstances, illness, or person. It often leads to discrimination, prejudice, and social exclusion. Case of man, and it comes out, right? Especially back in the day, and you was into the same sex back then. That was a no-no. You was either beat up in school, you was pushed around, bullied in school to the point where you was contemplating on committing suicide. This was like what? We talking what? 20 years ago. Not even 20 years ago. I would even go as far as saying a little bit more than that. 23, 24, 25 years ago. That was a no-no back then. You couldn't do that back then, but that was considered a stigma. But nowadays, that ain't nothing, man. That's nothing. That's like a thing that's normal now. That's normalized. All right. So just using also that as an example too. Okay. Understanding stigma goes deeper than its general definition. It generally manifests in a few distinct contexts. So now what I want to do is I want to also go to the what's the name? I want to go to the app, and we're going to read Revelations 13, but we're not going to read anything. I just want to just look up this word here. Right. Right. So now let's look up this over here. Right. So let's go into this. The time goes so fast, man. All right, so oh yeah, right. I got it. Okay, let's. Here we are. Beautiful. Okay, so they have here Kai, which means what? Just six in the Greek, 666. The meaning, which is the basis, much vain speculation. That's not really saying too much. Not really what I'm going with. Right. This is the word I'm looking for right here. Stigma. Outline of biblical usage, a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate that what master or general they belonged to. And they were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their God. So that was a thing of the East, of course, where you would, tattoo yourself to show your reference to the God that you worship. And I believe that's what the Canaanites did. If I'm correct. The Canaanites did that. I believe it was the Philistines or the Canaanites that did this. And they would tattoo themselves to reverence the God of Baal. Okay, but as we move forward from that time, they would do that to brand. Even in ancient Rome, they did this. They would brand their slaves, but with a hot iron. So if you ran away and you had a particular mark on you, you belonged to a master. Okay, it's the same thing they did to us in slavery around the 1600s too. They did the same thing, showing you that this is the revival version of Rome. So you can call that stigma in that sense as well. But also too, when I'm thinking in regards to the word on the service level, which means what? A strong sense of social disapproval. Guess what? Once you got that chip, you're going to be guess what? You the Most High and as well as the angels are going to disapprove of you. You're going to be a disregarded vessel because you would have already, once you take that mark, you would have declared that you fear Esau more than you fear the Most High. And I remember there was a particular guy, man. It was someone in one of these false camps. It could have been ISUBK or IEYC, but I heard someone saying that if you could take the chip and then you could take it out. Like, and so my mind towards that is this. Once you take the mark, you've already engaged your mind to take it because you had some fear in your heart towards Esau. Because Esau is going to change the system around to where you're going to have to coexist in the system with the Seer. You know what I'm saying? You've already made that quite clear. So there's no taking it out. All right. What's going to be taken out is your life now. The Most High is going to take you out. All right. So right when you think you're going to take it out, there's a missile with your name written on it. And you're going to be taken out in the worst way. As it is written in the book of Revelations 14, the Lord ain't lie. So you can't play. Listen, that's like you saying you're going to play with the Most High. You can't play with the Most High. All right. The deal is for not for us to take it, man. Now, okay. So now what I want to do is I want to read this article as well, dealing with the topic of discussion of where this world is going. Jeff Bezos wants to build an AGE, just to keep it short, which stands for Artificial General Engineer. As co-chief executive of the startup Prometheus, Amazon found that is using AI to improve how devices ranging from computers to jet engines are made. Silicon Valley is intending on building AGIs, a machine that can do anything the human brain can do. But Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, has a more specific ambition with his new startup Prometheus, who wants to build what he calls an artificial general engineer. All right. And the reason why he wants to do this is not because he wants to do it. It's because he's being told to do it. And when you check it in this system, when you're dealing with, okay, the secret government or the shadow government, whatever you want to call it, there's certain rankings of people that are above one another. All right. And we know that the politicians, the people you do see, they don't really hold no power at all, man. They're just dancing to the tune of those above them. And the people that's above them now are these tech companies, these tech giants. They're over these people. That's why if you check their net worth, it's way out there. It's crazy. They was even saying that Elon Musk, he's about to become a trillionaire. And then you have this other guy, man. Like these guys are multi-billionaires, not multi-millionaires, multi-billionaires. And there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is to now some wing. They need, man, this is a big old bee once flying around me. But you can't hit it like I said, because if you hit it, it's gonna sting the hell out of you. You know what I mean? And you don't really need to hit it anyway. It's just one of the Lord's creatures, man. And we need them to pollinate. So can't do that. But yeah. Anyway, like I said, the reason why they got all of that money because they of course someone to a degree that kind of money so that they can rewire, as Brookfield put it, to rewire the world, because it takes money to build shit up, especially the way that they're going to build the world. It takes a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you can't build it with no money. You gotta listen. It takes money. All right. So that's why they got that money, so that they can restructure the world. And it's going to take a lot of money. It's going to take billions and billions of dollars to knock this thing out. You know? Now let me go and read something else. Okay, yeah, we got that already. Yeah, so now what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to go in the spirit, man. I'm gonna have to go in the spirit. Let's see what we can do. Let's get some scriptures. Yeah, let's go and also get this as well. Yeah, Psalms, there you go. Psalms chapter 10. Psalms chapter 10 and verse 1. As this reads over here, why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in the time of trouble? The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boast of his heart desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. And Esau is the most covetous nation you'll ever know, based on the historical facts. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High, for the Most High is not of his thoughts. Absolutely. And the reason why that's the case, because the Lord created them to be the wicked, as well as it's written that the Lord have created all things himself, yea, even the wicked, for the day of evil. And that's why his ways are far out there perverse. All right. So I wanted to see something real quick. Okay, cool. Yeah, so now let's get right back into Psalms again. I think it was over here. Nope. Yeah, so going back to Psalms chapter 10. Yeah, so as this reads, the wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boast of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. And the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all of his thoughts. His ways are always grievous, and thy judgments are far above out of his sight. And as for, okay, cool. And that's what these sect giants are going to show as the time progresses, is that what they're going to do is rewire the world to their fitting, to their idea. And all ever going to be is just what? Digital slaves. We're not going to be human beings. We're just going to be slaves. Our national insurance number connected to us. Social security number. Your name written in caps. All you're ever going to be is to include your data. All right? So that's one way which shows he's grievous. All right? As it is also written, he have said in his heart, I shall never be in adversity. Let me read it again. He have said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. And that's really a God complex way of thinking. There will never be a power. That they'll never fall. They're just too great. They're too magnificent to fall out of power. All right? And they think in these secret places that they conspire against the poor. in, they think that the Most High don't even hear them. You know, they want to believe, because maybe there's a part of them that believes that there is a higher power, but the higher power hasn't showed himself yet based on his actions, right? So a large part of them is fully somewhat persuaded in their way to believe that they're just the it, and there's no other power besides them. Because if there was a God, then he would show himself. And see, the way the Most High works, he works like the old saying goes. He works in mysterious ways. So right when you think there is no power, right when Esau thinks he's going to have every single thing together with his one world system, that's the minute the Lord is going to intervene in that bad boy and show who's boss. And we're going to get to them scriptures in a minute. But let me finish this. As it is also written, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. And how does he murder the innocent in these secret places? Like case in point, they have these secretive meetings. Now there was a secretive meeting that was had, which was the Bilderberg meeting around the 9th to the 12th. Just recently checked that out. And what they were discussing was, of course, you know, Russia and many other things. But the main thing they was discussing is, again, AI. All right, these people, they discuss things in secret and it comes out into fruition outwardly. That's how they get down. And it isn't just the Bilderberg meeting. There's other groups, there's other secret society and groups that get together and they conspire together, which the word conspire means to what? Breathe. Meaning word conspire means to breathe. Okay, or spirit. And then you have these think tankers that formulate a mastermind sort of technique to get their agenda forwarded even more effectively. He lieth in wait in secret as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor, and he doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. And the net is the what? The one world system. You being having to receiving that mark. That's going to be the final nail in the coffin, which is going to seal the deal, whether you are of the elect or you're not of the elect. Those that's not going to take it are going to be considered the elect. And those that do take it are going to consider infidels, the non-elect, and they're going to be what? Destroyed. All right. And he, croucheth and humble of himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. And he have said in his heart, for the Most High, have the Most High forgotten? Matter of fact, let me read it correctly again. He have said in his heart, the Most High have forgotten. He hideth his face, and he will never see it. See? Let me read it again, so I can get it correctly. He have said in his heart, the Most High have forgotten. He hideth his face. He will never see it. So that's their mindset. Their mindset is that the Most High have forgotten about all of the, again, showing you that, as I've said already before, because the Most High hasn't did anything, hasn't shown them, that's their thinking. So now they can just run them up. Now they can just go rogue about things and just be as these entities, these AI gods, just do what the hell they want to do over people. Okay? But see, the Most High set them up in the trap. So while the wicked has set these people up in the trap, the Most High set the trap for the powers that be. The same powers that he put in the position of power, as well as it's written, that what? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And he covered the faces and where who is. So the wicked didn't just take power from the earth, it was given to him. So if something's given to you by a higher power, a higher entity, that's something, something can be taken from you. It's the same thing with, oh boy, one of my mics dropped on the floor. Yeah, I need a stronger magnet. I'll get one in a minute. You know what? I could get that right. Actually, no, I can't. I need a small, strong magnet like the one I already have above me. Yes, I don't have that. All right, yeah. So let's go back to the scripture again in the book of Psalms 10. Yeah, so as this reads over here, arise, O Lord, forget not the humble. And who are the humble? The humble is the Israelites. We are the humble. Therefore do a wicked contempt of the Most High. He hath said in his heart, that will not require it. And thou hast seen it, for thou beholdest the mischief in spite to requite it with thine hand, as well as it's written that what? The Lord will not at all acquit the wicked. See? Let's get that. The Lord will not at all acquit the wicked. That's in the book of, if I'm correct. Let's see what's up over here. No. Yeah. Ooh. All right. Inside joke. All right. So now let's get out of here. Let's do this. That's where it was. All right. Yeah. Okay. So. Okay. All right. Yeah. So let me look at this again. One more time. Let me look at this one more time. Forgot it already, man. Right. Yeah, so it's Nahum 1 and 3. As this reads, the Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord have his way in the whirlwind, and the storm and the clouds are the dust of his feet. So there you go. So the Lord is not going to acquit the wicked. So therefore, there's no such thing as, oh yeah, well, the Lord have forgotten. The Lord has not forgotten. As well as is written too in the book of what? Let's even read this too. Let's get this out. Ecclesiastes 3. And where shall we start? Right. Now, as this reads over here, that which have been is now, and that which is to be have already been. And the most I require that which is past. So again, the Lord hasn't forgotten about anything. So we're building a case with our enemies. That's what he's doing right now, as well as he is, right? He's the highest judge. So what is it? What happens before you judge somebody? Sometimes you got to just let things play out to see if it's so. And it's been found out already that basically this man or these elites, the devils that be on the earth, they're going to be found what? They're going to be found guilty of the wrongs that they've done, past, present, and future, especially even the regular Edomites. Okay? When it's all said and done. So there ain't no, oh, the Lord forgot. What's going to happen is when the Lord destroys these devils, they're going to be the ones to be forgotten about. How about that? Okay, so now, yeah, let me get out of here. Let me go back to my Bible. Now, let's go and check this out. Go back to the book of Psalms. right back to 10. Yeah, so as this reads again, it says, right, he has said in his heart, the Most High forgotten, and he hideth his face, and he will never see it. Arise, O Lord Yahweh, O power, and lift up thine hand, and forget not the humble. Wherefore doeth the wicked contempt of the Most High? He hath said in his heart, thou wilt not require it. Right? So now, let's tie what we just read from verse 12 to verse Luke, excuse me, verse Luke, chapter Luke 21. Now, as this reads over here, let's just jump all the way down. And let's read this. 21 and verse 26 in the book of Luke. Men's hearts failing them for fear, and for the looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud of power and great glory. And that's the reason why they're going to be shaken. So again, the Most High is going to show himself through his Son. Okay? The reason why the Son hasn't appeared yet and everything is being allowed to be allowed right now is simply to do with the fact that the Lord is allowing this man, as well as it's written that what? He who now letteth will let until he be what? Taken out the way. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. So when the prophecies play out and these wicked bastards do what they do, and fulfilling the final nail in the coffin, the prophecy that is the mark of the you know what, then the Messiah is going to make a second return. And then guess what? The powers are going to realize that they weren't powers after all, weren't they? So as it is written, what? The powers on earth shall be shaken. Let's read this again. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. Now let's tie that in with what Revelations 1. Now, behold, he coming with clouds, I shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, amen. So all of the nations around the planet earth and all of those that have been scattered abroad within Israel are going to wail because of him. Why? Because when the Lord comes back, he's coming to judge the world massively. And so that is why men's hearts, again, we're going to read this again, failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they be, excuse me, let me slow it down. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the cloud. With power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So that's going to be for our redemption. Yeah, it's going to be nerve-wracking to a degree unto us, somewhat, but we're not going to be just consumed in the sense of being nervous, but rather we're gonna feel a sense of relief and know that this is our Father, which has brought forth his dearly beloved Son. All right, his precious Son, and the word precious just means something that's in value. Kind of is reminiscent to the word appreciate, because what he did. All right, what he did on the cross paved the way for what he's going to do in this generation, is so that he can deliver his people physically. Yeah, he's going to spiritually deliver them from their sins, but physically he's going to deliver us from our sins, and as well as our enemies too. All right. So when his dearly beloved precious Son comes back on the earth, what is he going to do? He's going to smite our enemies to asunder and deliver us at the same time. And then let's even include the missiles. Even the missiles is going to get down. And this society is going to turn to nothing. Primarily, America is going to be nothing more than a 5,000 mile of a desert, square mile worth of a desert. And then you're going to have those desert creatures that's going to dwell there. You're going to have those doleful creatures and those dragons in the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter. That's why I read in the book of Revelations 18, it says that what? That what is it? Matter of fact, let me go and read it. I thought I had it in my head. Let me go and pull that out real quick. That this land is going to be inhabited of devils, right? And after these things, Revelations 18:1, and after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having the great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, the great is fallen, and here's the point, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Yeah, because back in the day, you know, this used to be taught that, yeah, you got devils inhabiting the land of America. Esau's the devil. And I mean, yeah, you can say that, but that's not the way you break that down. What it means by the habitation of devils is basically serpentine-like creatures. You're going to have desert-like creatures. You're going to have your snakes, your lizards, etc., etc. And then you're going to have satyrs that's going to dance there. Tells you that as well. Isaiah 13. So America's going to be nothing more than the desert after the nukes get done with it and the Lord's return get done with it. And this is going to come very soon. Right? Why you think you had these Steven Spielberg films come out about that? About the Lord's return. And he's got a new film coming out called what is it? Disclosure Day or something along those lines. And he was saying that if this film comes out, it can spin these Christians around to believe otherwise. All right, that's what he was saying. And another thing too, the reason why he's pushing this but this film that he's doing is simply to do with the fact that what they're going to do is they're going to stage the greatest deception ever. And that greatest deception is going to be a fake return of the Lord. And they could do that. Listen, if they can lie on a global scale and tell the people during the time of Apollo 13, right? If you know what I'm talking about, that the eagle is landing, we made it to the moon. Now you know what I'm talking about. Then they can lie on a massive scale again with something else. So why not? But the point is that Esau also knows, because with everything you have to be balanced, and Esau knows this as well. You have to be balanced with a lot of things, right? And that's one of the reasons why they're so geared towards pushing this one world system, because in their mind, it's like, well, this is something that we have to do, because if we do this now, then we got everybody lock, stock, and barrel. Now we got the drop on everybody. We got full control of all souls. So not a soul on earth is going to come around to take us out of power and to put us in slavery. That's not going to happen. But here's the kicker. Here's the thing that they kind of know about, but they don't really want to, be fully persuaded and believing in this that they already have in mind, is that there's someone from above that's going to come on the earth. As they like to call it, alien, right? The word alien just means stranger. They ain't referring to some green men with black eyes and big heads and skinny bodies looking like E.T. No. The people that's going to come on this earth are angelic entities, angelic powers, judges, as the Bible puts it, and Yahweh Shai, the main one. So he's going to come back with the hosts of heaven, and guess what? They're going to get busy. You understand? So yeah, as well as the scripture says too, which they're right. The scripture says man shall not buy you. In other words, redeem you from your lower state, your captivity, or the curses. But guess what? Yahweh Shai said, I will not meet thee as a man. That's what Yahweh Shai said. So he's going to meet Esau as an angelic power or judge to judge the planet Earth. And he even said it too in the book of, if I'm correct, yeah, in 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter. He gave us clues on what was going to be had through Ezra. And he said, look, when you start to see the signs and the wonders on the earth, then know that at those times, therefore, the Most High will begin to visit the world which he made. And that's also in tandem with what he told his disciples, somewhat in addition with what he told his disciples. And he gave them the drop on the parable of the fig tree. And he said to them, he said, look, when summer is nigh and the leaves grow on the tree, as well as you're going to know when these things come to pass, and know that I'm there at the door. So right now in the year 2026, June 12th, 2026, I think my mic fell off again. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it instead. Let me hold this instead. Right. So yeah, that's what he said. He said, look, when these things come to pass and know that I'm there, I'm pretty much at the door. And that's why we gotta be watching. The scripture says what? To give diligence to make your calling and your election sure. And one way to be diligent is to keep an eye open and also your eyes peeled to what's happening around the earth and to keep doing the work. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me do something different. Let me do this. I know what to do. Let's adjust all of this. Let me see what I can do. Yeah. Let me pull this out. Still not really strong as we need it to be, but yeah, I'm just gonna have to wind is blowing it away, so I might have to just hold it like this. It's gonna be kind of difficult for me to talk and everything, right? Yeah, so you know what I'm gonna do? Let me I'm gonna close out in a minute anyway, because I've done quite a bit of time. I think I've done about 2 hours and something. If I would have got here a little bit earlier, then I could have did the 3 hours. Yeah, so let me see what's going on here. Oh, that all. Jeez Louise, that ain't nothing. Yeah, that's what he said. He said, look, when these things come to pass. All right, cool. So you know what? I'm gonna have to cut it short anyway, because if I go for another hour, it's gonna be 3. That's gonna be kind of late for me, man. So I'm gonna just read a couple more precepts and I'm gonna be out of here. All right, so you know what I'm gonna do? Let me go back to where I was at. Yeah, so all right. Yeah, so it reads over here. Thou hast seen it, for thou beholdest the mischief in spite. And how does the Lord behold the mischief in spite? Because as it is written that what? The eyes of the Lord are beholding every single thing, good or bad, even in the secret places. And to requite it with thine hand, and the poor committeth himself unto thee, and thou art the helper of the fatherless. And how is that even being done? What does that mean that the poor committeth themselves unto thee? That's talking about right now. Well, very well committed to the Lord's business. Just like Yahweh Shai told his disciples, right? He pointed to his disciples and saying to his relatives that found him happily, and as well as Sally as well. And he pointed to his disciples and he said, look, my mother, my father, my brother, etc., are they that do the will of my Father which is in heaven. So if we're doing the same thing in much more diligence and we're committed to it, then in like manner, we're relatives to Yahweh Shai. All right. He even said, look, call not these men servants, but rather call them brothers, because a servant doesn't know every single thing that the master does. But brothers will know exactly what brothers are doing. All right. And the poority in this case is referring to Israelites. Thou art the helper of the fatherless. Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man, and seek out his wickedness till thou found none. And that's another reason why we're still here, so that the Lord can continue to reveal this devil. Now, doesn't it also read, right, that the mystery of iniquity doeth already work? Yes, because he's been revealed. Now, let me go and pull that precept out, because there's some more scriptures I want to get on that too. Iniquity, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 7, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. And only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Okay? And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So how is he being destroyed? As it is written, let me read it again. By the spirit of his mouth, by the holy prophets. Because of what? The Lord revealed his secrets unto the servants, the prophets, as well as that's written, that the Lord would do nothing but he revealed his secrets unto the servants, the prophets. So with the secrets that we have, which is this Bible, now we know the ins and out of our enemy. Now we know all things as well as that's written, that the Lord have given us an unction to know it all. Okay? And that we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. So we know everything. Now we can declare it. Now we can publish what this man is going to do before he even does it. So that's how this man is being found out all the way through. One way. Now you have people on the side that will write books about what they used to be a part of. You know, you got certain people that used to be in the inner workings of the CIA, and they revealing things and this and that and that and this and everything, right? But check this out. The real revelation came as a result of the holy prophets. That's who brought the revelation, the true revelation of it all, by the spirit of prophecy. All right, and by the Holy Spirit. Again, we know all things, so all things came out. So the spirit of truth has pretty much grasped or grabbed the planet Earth in a world with nothing more than lies. And as we kept on doing this time in and time out, now things have changed. Now you have here and there people trying to get scriptorial now. Like you hear certain people talking about particular subject matter, and they're touching on the same similar scriptures we're touching on, or they'll even use our talking points, or what have you. Okay, so this word is changing the way things are, and even people. You got a lot of people behind the scenes that are coming up and realizing that what we got is the 100% truth. Which, you know, we don't have to convince you otherwise. If you don't believe it, that's on you too. That's cool. But a lot of people are coming to their senses and they're realizing, wait a minute, you guys got it going on. You know, I went to church for a certain amount of years and the pastors ain't telling me nothing that y'all telling me. Okay? And speaking about the pastors, you got a lot of pastors too that are looking to quit. So you got a lot of churchgoers that used to go to church, they've stopped that. And then you got the pastors, they don't want to pastor no more. Because what's happening right now, as well as it's written, is that the true prophets are going to be established and seen on your streets. And the true information is going out. That's why the scripture says what? Blessed are they which publish this ministry. You see, we was looked down upon and unconsidered with what we were teaching. We were considered conspiracy, tinfoil cap wearing conspiracy theorists. Now it's more looking like that we're in the right. Everything that we've said is looking more likely we're in the right. And we are right. That's why you don't have no scoffers or scorners. Who's this? Right. The water, brother, the water. Yeah, so like I was saying, that's why you got what you got. You got no scoffers going online, posting silly comments on the comment board. You don't got that no more. These keyboard warriors, because even now they are forced to see what we've been saying, which is the truth. And then it's like when you check it out, the boys in purple, they had to switch a couple of things up to suit the prophecy of the mark of the you know what. Some months ago, man. All right. So this truth is changing the minds of people, and it's changing the world for that matter too. There's a vibration to this word, man, I tell you. So anyway, let's read this again. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth, and who's letting them do what he's doing, the Most High is letting them to do what he's doing. Right? Will let until he be taken out the way. And who's going to take his ass out of the way? The Most High is going to take his ass out of the way. The same one which brought him into power in the first place. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. In other words, the spirit of truth, which we got 100% of it. And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So when he comes back, the physicality of his destruction is going to be. That's why it reads in the book of Isaiah 63, if I'm correct. It reads that what is it? As died, he's coming from Basra. What is it? With dyed garments. Let me go and pull that out real quick. Man, that's the spirit. I'm right on it. Isaiah 63. Who is this that coming from Edom that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength? I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. And wherefore thou art red in thine apparel, and thy garments, like him that treadeth in the wine fat. And I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. Now, is this literal? This is actually parabolic to his physical return of him physically destroying our enemies. And of course, he's not going to stain his garment, neither his raiment, because he's going to be in the ship. So what he's basically conveying here is Isaiah is putting it, which the Lord is speaking to Isaiah. He's saying, look, I'm going to bring massive death and destruction, and it's going to be a lot of blood spill. That's what the Lord is coming to bring. That's really what he's talking about. Okay. And I will stain all my raiment, for the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold, and therefore mine own arm, in other words, his own power, brought salvation unto him, or unto me, and my fury it upheld me. So the Lord is coming with great fury because of all of the injustices that was done that has not been considered, that has not been ironed out correctly. So now the Lord is going to have to be the equalizer, like you had the film that came out with Denzel in him. So Yahweh Shai, he's going to come to make it all right. He's going to rectify every single thing. And then guess what? The balance of the scales is going to be balanced. So instead of this man getting off scot-free from the wrongs he's done, no, he's going to be paid for. And the payment is going to be grand royale. All right? The payment is going to be astronomical. So that's why the Lord ain't did anything yet. As well as it's written, the Lord is what? Slow to anger and great in wrath. Let me see if I could pull that out real quick. I got to pull that out. Because great wrath takes time. Hold on, wait. Let me put this in real quick. Oh man, people just don't know, man. Especially these jackass, silly ass Christians. Man. All right, let me read this, man. Let me see if I can find it. Right. Nahum 1, if I'm correct. Yeah, this is this Nehemiah? No, I just read it. It's Nahum 1 and 3. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. And the Lord have his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. There you go. He's not doing anything yet, but I tell you what, when he do come with his wrath, I'm telling you, man, the Lord is going to clean house, as that saying goes. He gonna clean all this hot mess up. Oh boy, I tell you, man. Yeah, so right. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to read from there. Now, let me go back to Luke. Let's go back to Luke 21. And that's why we got to fear the Lord and do the right thing, man. Because we don't want to get caught up in that. Trust me. Luke 21. And what is it? Yeah, verse 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draw nigh. And the ones that have done every single thing right to the T are going to be confident enough to look up. But for those that did the Lord's work half-wise and didn't fulfill their course, they're going to look up and they're going to be embarrassed. They're going to be ashamed of themselves. As a matter of fact, they're going to look up knowing that they're going to be destroyed. But for us that have done the Lord's work, we're going to feel confident to look up because we've done the best we could do. You know, the Lord was upon us to teach as well as is written, right? Much is given and much is required. So accordingly to our faith and our ability, we gave it so. So when the times come, we're going to be all right. We're going to be feeling like, man, you know, we did what we did. You know, we did everything to the very end. We didn't take harm, etc., etc. We held our own. And that's what you want to do. The scripture says what? Strive for the truth, even unto death. Now, some of us are going to be put to death too. Some of us ain't going to see ourselves getting beamed up. Some of us are going to be put to death. But that's okay because the ones that died in Yahweh shall what? Shall rise first. So there can't be no death out of these words. So the Lord, again, the Most High is not a power that's as fickle as we are. We say one thing, but then we will do another thing. No. The Lord is strictly about his word. So if the Lord said, look, if you hold these words and out of these are the issues of life, then that's what it is. Right? You got them people going crazy because of the situation that happened over there due to this, they say Somali that went over there and beheaded somebody or something like that. So it just had these guys fucking nuts. They burning all kind of stores and stuff like that, man. They going crazy over there. But guess what? That's going to be the settlement of a lot of people when you're going to have certain crises come to an head and all around. And in that time, we're going to be good. We're going to be taken care of. You know? Yeah. Because as well as it's written, with all things, with the Most High, it is all possible. All things are possible with the Most High. Yeah, so now I'm kind of getting used to this beat now. All right, so now okay, so now what we're gonna do is this. Yeah, you know what else I can get? I can get yeah, I can get, let's see what else we can read in Revelation 3. Oh yeah, I have to read this. Behold, I come quickly, that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown, him that overcometh, and here's the point. Yeah, this is what I have to read. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my power, and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power, and I will write upon him my new name. So the word new just means, in this case in the Greek, afresh, or the word kainos. So we're going to be refreshed and restored as the people of the Most High. Now, you read the book of Revelations, I think it's Revelations, I think it's 20. Is it 20? Revelations 20. Right, Revelations, I think it's 21, where it reads that, what is it, New Jerusalem, as John the Revelator saw, coming from out of heaven, right? Meaning that the elect that were beamed up, they're going to come out of that chariot, of course, in those new bodies, with them having the other new covenant. And that's going to be the city, the holy city, because before a city becomes what it becomes, it becomes a city because of the people. The people build the city. Let me even quote the scripture better yet. Israel is a people before it's a place. All right. So when we overcome with the word, whether it be that we have to die, some of us, and or whether we get beamed up, we're going to be what? Considered the New Jerusalem. We're going to have our new bodies. We're going to have a new mind. We're going to have and all things around us is going to be new. That's why Yahweh even declared that he's going to be the one to make all things new. Even the earth is going to be renewed. Everything about us. All right. So we're going to be considered what? The new Jerusalem. So the Lord is going to what? Afresh everything. We're going to start fresh from we're going to start fresh with a clean slate. All right. That's what he has in plan. Now you have these new world order cats out here that have in mind that they're going to set up their form of one world system, and so that therefore they can enjoy the fruits of their labor, and they're going to pretty much redefine what life is all about and all of that. But that's not within the counsel of the Lord. What's within the counsel of the Lord is they're only going to go as far as establishing the one world order with the mark of the you know what. That's as far as it's going to go. But they're not going to go as far as beyond the skies. In the book of Job, the 14th chapter, that very well tells you that what? The Lord of what? Set a bound for him. Matter of fact, let me go and read it so I can get it correctly. Job 14. Job 14 and verse 5. Seeing his days are determined and the number of his months are with thee, and thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So there's a bound of time that he has, and there's a bound of power that he can get into. You know what I'm saying? This is the reality. This is the truth. So there's no such thing as going beyond, and we're gonna cover the cosmos with AI, and we're gonna be the new gods on the planet Earth. That's not gonna happen. What's gonna happen is that we are going to be the new gods in a sense of kainos, because in the ancient world, since the time of Genesis, you had what was called the sons of God. Adamites were made out of three brackets of men. You had the sons of the right, the sons of the left-hand side, the sons of the wicked, and the sons of men. But then the sons of God were on a godlike status. That's why these men, it was named such a, the only guy which comes to my mind was Methuselah, which almost lived to a full day in the time of the Lord. I think he ended his life around 960 something years. So we're going to go back to that and better, because there ain't going to be no limit to our life. As it is written in the book of Isaiah, it says that what? The days of my people shall be as the days of the tree. Now, what tree was Isaiah talking about? He was more likely talking about an olive tree, because there's an olive tree that they came out with, and they've estimated how long that tree has been around. And it's been estimated that a particular olive tree, and what I'll do is I'll go into it after I get done talking about it. I think it's like maybe 3,000 to 4,000 years old. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into it, show what I'm talking about. Right. So I was right. So the 1,000-year-old olive tree of Lurus, 3,000 to 4,000, located in a small town of Lurus in Sardinia. This century-old tree is considered one of the oldest specimens of wild olives on the island. There you go. All right. So they found a particular olive tree that's over 1,000 years old, and there's other trees too that live that long. So that's going to be how we're going to be made to be. We're going to be made to be immortal beings. That's where the bus is going to stop next, after all that is said and done. But we have to overcome first. We have to overcome all of this, which is what we're dealing with right now, as well as the Apostle Paul said that his departing was going to come so that he what? Finish this course. So let's go back to Revelations. And we are going to read this. In him that overcometh will I make a pillar of the temple of my power, and he shall go no more out. And I will write it upon him of the name of my power, and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power, and I will write upon it my new name. And he that hath ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. So there you go. Now, what I want to do is I want to read something in Isaiah. Here it is. Absolutely. Isaiah 65, verse 17. New heavens and a new earth, right? For behold, I create a new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind. And what I want to do is I want to tie this in with another scripture. Because what did the Apostle Paul say? Yes, it's second. It's in second. Second Corinthians 4 and verse 17. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh us a far more exceeding, right? A far more exceeding an eternal weight of glory. And that's why the former is going to be forgotten. Because when you're doing too good in life, you forget about the time when you was afflicted. Now that's in the Apocrypha too. I want to put that out as well. I want to bring that into the mix. I think that's in Sirach 11 somewhere. It's 11 and 26. Lord willing, it's in there. Right, I think so. Yep, this is it. So as this is written, for it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. The affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure, and in his end his deed shall be discovered. No, that's not really what I wanted. Let's go up a little bit. Let's read verse 22. It says, the blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the most of the godly, and suddenly he maketh his blessing to flourish. And say not, what profit is there of my service? And what good thing shall I have thereafter? Again, say not, I have enough and possess many things. And what evil can come to me hereafter? In the day of prosperity, there's the point. There's a forgetfulness of affliction. So that's all I wanted to read. That's in Sirach, so I can remember it again. 11 and verse 25. Right. So that's why the former is not going to be forgotten about, because we're going to be doing too damn good, and we're going to be looking back at our lives, our former lives, and we're going to consider to ourselves. So here it is. We were here moping in the morning and complaining about what? Come on, man. Like, we could do that 1,000 times and over. That might very well be the settlement when we get to the other side, because of how well we're going to be doing on the other side, in the kingdom. So now let's go back to the book of Isaiah 66. Now, yeah, where was we at? Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go back over here. So like that. So as this reads, I will rejoice. But be ye glad, Salakia, but be ye glad, verse 18, and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing city. I'm gonna close out in a minute. It's all good. It's all right. It's all right. It's all good. It's all good. Let me situate the sign over here. All right. Yeah, so let's continue on. I know what to do. Let me do this. Let's hold this sign. All right. Okay, so as this reads, but be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing and her people a joy. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem and join my people. And the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying. And then, and there shall be no more thence an infant old, but the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed. And who is the sinner? The other nations are going to be considered that. All right. And the reason why they're going to be sinners is because we're going to have to do the sacrifices unto them, because they're going to be made in like manner as they've always been in formation to sin. Okay, so we're not going to be sinners. That's why you're not going to have the officiation of the sacrifices that the priests would do back in the ancient world with the Israelites. We're never going to be sinners again, because we're going to be under a new covenant. So now biologically, spiritually, we're going to be also connected with our maker. So we're never going to be off. We're going to be perfect. And that's the way it should have had been. But the Most High wanted the story to play out so things could be interesting, as I'm speculating, you know. And they shall build houses and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. So does it necessarily mean we're going to plant vineyards? No, we're going to have the servants do that job. That's why these nations are here. All of these nations are here. The reason why all of these nations are around and about, as well as it's written, there is no end to the people, is so that what? They can make us look pretty and do the work that we don't need to do. So while they doing the work, we can focus on greater matters. We can focus on building our society. We can focus on taking care priestly duties, because we're going to be ruling over the people, right? So these are the things we're going to be focused on. Important matters. Anything in relation and serving our power. That's going to be our only focus. So we don't have anything else to do. What else do you focus on? Because the mind has to do something. So we're not going to just be sitting on our day. We're going to be doing meaningful things. And the greatest thing, the most meaningful thing to do is to serve the purposes of the Lord. That's why it is written that what? The whole duty of man, the Israelite man especially, is to what? Keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. All right. And that's what we're going to be able to do to the utmost, because we're not going to have anything else to do. There ain't going to be no taking out garbage. You doing dishes, you sweeping out the house, right? You mopping the floors. Because you're going to have your services going to do all of that. Cleaning the streets. You being a second-class citizen of society. You being looked down upon. That ain't got nothing to do with what I'm saying. Point is that you're gonna have the other nations. They're gonna be doing they're gonna be doing the work that is meaningful for them. All right, while we focus on important things. Now, let's get back to this over here. Let's read this again, because there's another point I want to make too. And they shall build houses, inhabit them, and shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. So if you want to build you a house that covers as far as eyes can see, you're gonna have a massive amount of land. We all are. Plus the earth is gonna expand. So we're gonna have a lot more to go on. So they're gonna be able to build a house, and whether it's gonna be a palace, whether it's gonna be, pretty much in that palace, you may have like 100 rooms here and there. so that you can what? Build your family and what have you. However you want your place to look, they're gonna sort it out for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what's really coming down the pipe. This is the glory that's coming upon us. So again, rather than us earning to work, they're gonna be earning to work for the sake of their lives. And all we just gonna be doing is chilling, focusing on serious matters, meaningful matters. All right, that's the whole purpose of having service, so that they can do work, and you ain't gotta do shit. Now, as this reads, and they shall not build, and another inhabit, shall they not plant, and another eat? For as the days of a tree are the days of my people, and mine elect shall long enjoy the works of their hands. Again, we're not going to be doing anything. They're going to be building these houses. They're going to be dressing our vineyards, trimming our land, trimming the grass off our land, and taking care of the cattle. All of these different things. So if you want the best wine that earth can give you, they're going to be sorting that out for you. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you know, this is the reality, man. This is what's coming down the pipe. But before we go do this, man, we got to know and understand, as well as we ought to know, is that we have to overcome. Let's pull that out in the book of, what is it? Revelations, right? Revelations, chapter 2. And I believe it is 20, verse 26. Revelations 2 and verse 26. 25. But that which you have already hold fast till I come, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father, as well as it's also written in the book of Psalms chapter 2 as well. In verse 8, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. So we're not going to just rule people. We're going to rule the earth. The whole entire earth is going to be for ours to possess, as well as Ezra's even put it, that if the earth is ours, why do we not have a possession? Because we've sinned against our power. So that's a part of us bearing the indignation of the Lord, is that we don't have no possession. We are at the bottom of the economic ladder on the Esau's economy. That's temporarily right now, but permanently, which will be when Yahushua comes back, we're going to be permanently in our heavenly estate, ruling all things, which dates all the way back to the book of Genesis, the first chapter, where it reads that what? Towards the sons of God, that they will rule over all his creation. All right. So that's the thing. The Most High is the power of his word. And whatever he said, whether he didn't do it, I think my other mic is dropped again. God dog. Oh, okay, cool. I thought it dropped. I thought my white mic dropped. Okay, cool. Yeah, so like I was saying, the Most High is the power of his word. So therefore, the Most High has said it, and he's going to make good on it. Okay, there's certain prophecies, and as well as the blessings, and as well as that which was promised us hasn't come to pass yet. You know what I mean? So all of these things are going to come to pass. Just because it hasn't, it doesn't mean it's not going to come to pass. It's going to come to pass. It has to. All right. So yeah, I think that's all I had to say for this, man. Lord willing, this was edifying. Lord willing, next week would be bit more better for me, because I plan to get here earlier, man. To be honest with you, It's been quite difficult for me to do so, but Lord willing, I'll get there in due time. It's all in due time. Everything happens in time. You know, we got to be patient. That's just something that I have to, get more into. It's the spirit of being more patient, getting better. But, it's just the truth. Like, everything happens in time, man. Yes, Dad, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah, Quadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great known stone, and to include the elder bishops on down, and Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak to the overall elect whom this gospel is for. And I say, Shalom.